واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله قاصم الجبارين مبير الظالمين مدرك الحاربين، والصلاة والسلام وتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي المكي المدني الهاشمي الذي سمي في السماوات بأحمد وفي الأراضين بأبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين، سيما أولهم أمير المؤمنين وآخرهم بقية الله في الأراضين، روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء، ورحمة الله على محبيهم ومواليهم وشيعتهم أجمعين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم ملعونين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله في محكم كتابه: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لقد كنت في غفلة من هذا وكشفنا عنك زيا. For the enlightenment of the graves of your Marhumin, of the graves of Shuhada, Ulama and Siddiqeen, for the safety of the followers of Ahl al-Bayt around the world, and for the safety and the hastening of the reappearance of Hazrat Baqiyatullah al-A'zam, Arwahun al-Fida, please recite your loudest salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one who is Rahman and one who is Rahim. The final night of our series is upon us, and the night of Tasu'ah, the night of Ashura, has also set in. We want to try and conclude what was left over from the previous lectures today, namely the characteristics of the Sirat, and the bridge over which people must pass. One thing that we must be very wary of is that everything that we have said does not necessarily mean that it will happen within that same way that we have said it. That is a world that does not conform to the realities or the constraints of the world as we know it. Many things will happen simultaneous to other events. They will happen side by side. They will be happening at the same time. Over there is no time, there is no space. That none of that counts there. All of it, one by one, or either simultaneous, we don't know. But all we know is that these are the various things that shall happen. And we've talked about from this journey, from the moment a person dies until the place the person enters into the barzakh, and then from the barzakh, when they are taken out onto the plains of mahshar, the groups in which they come, how they are herded, the nature in which they are given their scroll of deeds, in what hand they are given their scroll of deeds, how it is that they are handed their scroll of deeds, then how the shafa'ah of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam works, and to what extent it is that Amirul Mu'mineen and Ahlul Bayt have an interaction or have a purpose on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Today I want to look specifically at the Sirat. We constantly hear about the bridge of the Day of Judgment, the bridge of the Day of Judgment, but after the accounting has taken place, now it comes for the Sirat. Now what is the Sirat? It is known as the bridge from the plains of Mahshar to heaven, underneath which is hell. It is a bridge that is sharper than a sword, thinner than a hair, and each person must pass over it and reach the other side. And it is the various sins, the deeds and things that the person has done within their lives that shall define in which way they pass over the Sirat. At what speed, with what so speed, and then with what sort of style of passing, because there are different people that pass in different ways. They walk across, some fly across, there's other things, and we'll get to that. We said that the Day of Judgment itself is 50,000 years long. And of much of that is spent within the Sirat, or upon the Sirat itself. People will pass over the Sirat in a number of different ways. There will be one group. There are 6 groups in total. The first group will pass over the Sirat like a bolt of lightning. The second group says they will pass over karrih. This is directly correlation or causal to the amount of deeds, good deeds that they had done in the dunya. So some will pass over it like lightning, others will pass over it like wind, others shall pass over it with the speed of a galloping horse, others will walk on it normally. Some will be made to slither over it. Remember what I said, it is sharper than a sword. They will be made to pull themselves along it, slicing their faces and their bodies as they go along, slithering across in the manner that the snakes pass over the land. And then the 6th group are those that will crawl on their hands and knees across the Sirat. And it's not about balance there. That I can say, well, in this world I have great balance, you know. Like now the Sirat, okay, I can train for it. I'll get across that Sirat, no problem. It's not about balance there, because underneath is hell. And hell will be brought in such a way that in Surah Al-Fajr, Allah says, and that day when hell will be brought in front of them. And the people asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, everyone's a bit tired today. So Rasulullah was asked, how is it, or what does it mean in Surah Al-Fajr when it says that hell will be brought in front of them? So then Rasulullah says, when all of existence will be brought, and God and all of them will be standing there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will order and bring forth hell. At that moment, an army of angels, scary in their appearance, shall come in dragging hell. There will be 1,000 ropes. Attached to each of those 1,000 ropes will be 1,000 angels of the punishment of Allah, those that are to mete out the punishment of God. And they shall be dragging this. Can you imagine this sight? That there is this entity, there is this pit that is being dragged, that has 1,000 ropes attached to it. The length of it is equivalent to 1,000 angels holding on and pulling it. And now each and every one of them slowly pull in hell, bringing in front of the people of the mahshar. The people will be amazed, they'll be shocked, their eyes popping from their heads, because they can hear the wailing and the screams of hell itself. And now when it is brought to the edge of the plains of mahshar, they will place the bridge over it. And the angels of mercy shall surround the bridge on either side. And the people will be told, now pass over. And the narration says that you will see people falling kal-firash, in the way that the moths, when they hit the light and they fall, says that on that day you will see in their hundreds of thousands as people are passing over the Sirat, as a result of their bad deeds, are falling straight in to the depth of hell underneath. The fire of hell lapping up underneath them. And you will see them falling, and the angels will be crying out, "Oh Allah, have mercy on these poor wretches." that do not take them towards the depth of hell. Such a punishment. How will they bear it? But that is the day of justice. It is the day where accounting shall take place. And the sirat upon it, it's not as simple as just going forward. No, the sirat itself has stages. And each stage, throughout this whole journey, every adab, every punishment is a purification for that individual. It is a penance for their sins, so that these individuals may somehow, some way enter into heaven. I said yesterday that the default position of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mercy. But when mankind excels and goes beyond and goes outside of the realms of mercy and is insistent on committing sin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now deal with them with His punishment. There will be stages upon the sirat. And each stage, these individuals will be questioned. And we'll come to what those stages are. They'll be questioned about that. What did you do in regards to this in the dunya? And the people will call out that they'll have to answer, they'll have to reply. And if they can't answer, or if they fail that test at that stage, then for 1,000 years they are punished at that stage. Each station of the sirat is 1,000 years long. 1,000 years this, 1,000 years in the dunya, but 1,000 years of the akhirah. There a person will be questioned and asked, why is it that you did not fulfill the requirement of this particular action? But as they pass from one stage to another and they're punished and punished and punished, it's a form of purification. And those that are still too evil will be dropped into hell. There are certain people who will burn in hell, and once they have served for their sins, they will come out of hell and be taken to heaven. But before they enter into heaven, they're told, take a dip in the pool of Kawthar. They take a dip in the pool of Kawthar, and their wounds and everything heal, and their body becomes youthful again. And then they're told, now you're ready to enter into heaven. I said to you before that Amir al-Mu'mineen says, I will intercede for all my Shia. But some of them will need to burn for 100,000 years in hell. Only then will we intercede for them. The individuals will take that dip into the pool of Kawthar, return back youthful, fragrant, and then be allowed to enter into the heaven. And yesterday I failed to add in that upon the sirat, because we were talking about it today. Yesterday I spoke about where Amirul Mu'mineen and where Ahlul Bayt aids an individual. We said that Imam al-Rada salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi says that when whoever comes for my ziyarah, I will come and meet them at 3 different stages in their life. Time of their death, at the time of their accounting, وعند الصراط, and at the time of the sirat. I will come there, I will do their shifa, I will aid them. In Manazil al-Akhirah of Shaykh Abbas Qumi, there is a riwayah. They said that there was a man who had a dream. He saw himself that he's on the day of Mahshar. He's standing there on the plains of Mahshar, and he's told, go across the sirat. Says, as I took a step across the sirat, says my foot slipped and I fell. Says for 70 years I fell. I carried on falling for 70 years And for the whole 70 years, I was burning with all that adhab of Allah, and I still had not reached the bottom of hellfire. He says, as I fell for 70 years, he thought in his mind that all these years I've loved Amirul Mu'mineen, all these years that I've called out to Amir al-Mu'mineen, why don't I call out to Ali now? He says, as I fell 70 years, at one point I cried out, Ya Ali, help me. He says, at that moment a hand grabbed me and pulled me out from the depth of hell. There is shifa of Ahlul Bayt, but it requires certain effort from ourselves. It requires us to put some effort in. So what are those 7 stages of the Sirat? 7,000 years a person shall pass over the Sirat for 7,000 years. 7 stages, each 1,000 years long. At the first stage, please recite salawat. Recite another salawat and allow the brothers just to put that. 7 stages. The first stage on the Sirat, the first place that a person will be questioned, or the first thing that a person will be questioned about, is amana and silatul raham and the wilaya of Ahlul Bayt. Stage 1, the moment they step upon the Sirat, the first thing that they will be asked about is amana. Someone gave you a trust, someone entrusted you with something. What did you do with that trust? Someone told you a secret and said, don't tell anyone, which I've said before is a surefire way of getting everyone to know your secrets. By telling someone that don't make sure this is secret, I'm only telling you, don't tell anyone. Everyone else will know about it. The amana says, we gave you the trust, we gave you an amana of a body, what did you do with it? We gave you the amana of children, how did you raise them? What did your children do with their lives? What did you do with them? How did you teach them the religion? Or was it enough just to say, okay, it's just let them come to Majlis, that's alright, that's fine. That's how I raise my children. Or let them sit outside, inshallah, tawakkal ala Allah, yallah, inshallah, something will happen and they'll go into Jannah. And we gave you amana, we gave you children, how did you raise them? What names did you give them? These are all the adab of children. Now we want to start naming all our kids these fanciful different names. Move away from the names of Ahlul Bayt. Oh no, my cousin, sister's friend's brother has a son named that. So I can't name it. I've got to look for something more new, something more intense. Yeah, I've got to look for something that is like new age. Oh, one of the requirements when a person has a child, give him a good name, and the best names are the names of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. The best names are the names of Ahlul Bayt. There's no other names that are worthy or worth giving to your children. There is inherent benefit in the names of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. Says, we gave you amana of health. What did you do with it? We gave the amana of safety. What did you do with it? How did you raise your children? All of these things fall under amana, under the trusts that a person was given. Second, silatul raham. We'll ask you, how did you keep your family ties? How did you keep a relationship with your family? What did you do? So, no, he didn't come to my daughter's wedding. Forget him. So, how did you maintain that relationship? And sometimes it becomes difficult that, okay, this family member has fallen out with me and I have no ill feelings towards them, but they don't like me. So what do? Do I still go to hell because of that? He says, no. The minimum you can do, the minimum. The riwayah says that the minimum that you can do to show that you've not totally cut off from them, is when you see them, just say salam. Whether they reply or not is unto them. It's up to them. You just say salam. Or the very least that you can do to maintain that family relations, offer them a glass of water. Says if you can do that, this is fine. Even if they don't want to talk to you, they don't want to accept your water, they don't want to reply to your salam, you just do that. That's enough. Silatul Rahim. And then the third thing at station 1 that a person will be asked for is the wilayah of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. We gave you this wilayah, what did you do with it? We had all this intellectual knowledge. Where did you spend it? What did you do with it? Did you just use it for your own emotional benefits? Did you make this religion all about emotion? That I only come once every year or 10 days for the year, cry and then go, and then Allah knows best. Or I only come and pray namaz in the 100 rakats of Laylatul Qadr. Outside of that, Allah knows best. Says this wilayah that was given to you, this deen that was given to you, it was given to you, this love in your heart was given to you with certain requirements. That you follow what Ahlul Bayt wants from you. You follow according to their teachings when they are saying the aql is that which takes you towards Allah and you run purely on emotion. That is jahiliyyah. The definition of jahl, of ignorance, is what? When a person's emotions overcome his intellect. Now he can't think of things intellectually. Now you try and tell this person, well, look, this didn't make sense. Oh, how dare you? They start getting really agitated about it. These type of people who you can't have a discussion with, an open discussion. Because it's like, oh, no, you're questioning, you're a muqassir. Oh, we love this word nowadays. Yeah? Because we don't have that which Ahlul Bayt taught us. When there's people kuffar coming to meet them, and they're sitting down and having a reasonable conversation with akhlaq with them, but we can't even sit with other Shi'as and have a conversation. Oh no, this person's this and this person's that, and he's that party and he's that party. We gave you this wilayah. Unite ourselves. We use this. This is Mullah, this is what we use your wilayah for. To cause more disunity. Because my love for you was greater than anyone else's. So then everyone should do what I say. First stage. 1,000 years. Ask. Second stage of the sirat. What of your salah? How did you pray? When did you pray? Did you fulfill your wajibat of your salah? Did you pray on time? The sixth Imam says, Imtahanu shi'atana inda thalath, that test our shi'as at 3 times. What 3 times, Imam? Says the first time, inda mawaqit as-salah, test them at the time of salah. Kayfa muhafidhatuhum, see how they preserve that time of salah. If they're doing something else at the time of namaz, they're not our Shi'as. Simple. And then وَعِنْدَ أَمْوَالِهِمْ, second, test them with their wealth. See how they use it to help their fellow brothers. وَعِنْدَ أَسْرَارِنَا, and with our secrets, see how they hide them from our enemies. We don't have time to go into it. But the second stage of the sirat, salah. What did you do with your salah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had this, given you this salah. What did you do with it? On the sirat to be questioned. In fact, the sixth Imam says that our shifa'ah, I said the shifa'ah of Ahlul Bayt will be there, the intercession. But now listen to what sixth Imam says. Our shifa'ah has stipulations. It says our shifa'ah will not reach that individual that does not give importance to salah. Not the one that doesn't pray. He's going to hell anyway. That's a direct one-way ticket. That is not that person. The one that doesn't give importance to it. That's the person who delays his prayer. That's the person that one day he prays, the other day he doesn't. Another day he misses one salah. Doesn't. Says that person won't receive our shifa on Yawm al-Qiyamah. The third stage of the sirat is your zakah. How did you pay your zakat and your khums? What did you do with it? What did you do with the wealth that we gave you? Did you give a portion of it to charity as we had prescribed in the Quran? At the fourth stage, what about your fasting? Tell us, what did you do? How did you fast? Was it that you waited till Shahr Ramadan came and then you just were dreading it? Just dreading every single day of Sha'ban that went past, you were like, oh God, it's getting nearer. Oh, long 18 hours. Says, what are you doing? Go, what are you? Recite salawat, please. Says, what are you doing with your... What did you do in the dunya with your song? Why are you... Answer. 1,000 years of questioning. Can't answer? 1,000 years of punishment before you go on to the next stage. And then the fifth stage. Hajj. You had the money. You had the wealth. Why didn't you go on Hajj? You had the time. You had all of it. But you chose not to go on Hajj if it was wajib upon you. Why didn't you go on Hajj? 1,000 years of questioning. Can't answer? 1,000 years of punishment. For those that answer correctly new, go next stage. Quick. Karrih. Like wind. Like lightning. Different stages. The sixth stage. Tell us about your tahara. Your taharat. How pure were you in the dunya? Did you wash yourself after going to the toilet? I'm not joking. The sixth Imam says that the most amount of adab that will be given out in the barzakh to people will be because they did not wash themselves after going toilet. Sixth Imam says the most amount of adab in the barzakh will be given out to people. The majority of people that will face the adab in the barzakh were those that never used to clean themselves after going to the toilet. What about your taharat? Did you understand the rules of taharat? Your child pees on the floor and you take a cloth and you start rubbing it. Oh, okay, that's tahir. No, you got to wash it 3 times with water. Now where's that water going? Curb that water. You're taking a cloth and you're just rubbing that najasat everywhere. The place is still najis. It says, ask you about your taharat. And then the final stage, your madhalim. What dhulm did you do on other people? What is it that you did to other people in the dunya? Did you take someone else's haqq? Did you take other people's right? Did you slander someone? Did you do ghiba on someone? Did you do tuhma about someone? Did you oppress someone in different ways? What is it that you did in regards to other people? Did you take someone's money and not return it? 7 stages on the sirat. From there, it is up to the individual. From this point, they either fall into hell or they enter into Jannah. This whole journey that we have been on, from Dukhanun Mubin to Ya'juj and Ma'juj, to the destruction of the sun, the moon, all of it is to this place. Here lies the crux. That this sirat that you must pass over Were you pious enough to answer these 7 questions to pass successfully? I can ask myself and you can ask yourself, between you and Allah. You don't have to show anyone, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. As I said in my first lecture, and I've been saying in the middle, this is up to you. Choose what you want to do. You have free will. Allah's given you free will. No problem. You don't want to pray, don't pray. You don't want to fast, don't fast. No problem. إِنَّكَ كَادِحٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ كَدَحًا. You are on a journey towards Allah, whether you like it or not. It says in the Holy Quran, you are striving towards Allah, whether you like it or not. فَمُلَاقِيهِ. You live your life how you want. You deal whatever you want to deal. You do haram, whatever haram you want to do. No one is going to stop you, but there is a day where you will be made to stand in front of Him and you will be made to answer for it. That is the crux of the whole series. Everything that we have spoken about comes down to this point. How we're going to live our lives, what we're going to do from this point on. That lies in our own hands. I can come and year after year, nothing will change. We have to have that desire ourselves to change our lives. The prophets came and went, sages after sages, warners after warners, and anbiya after anbiya, awliya after awliya, a'imma after a'imma came. And over you see the same theme playing out. People rejected them over and over. And there is no greater example of that rejection of the awliya of Allah than Karbala itself. That individuals are there in Karbala whom have the hujjah of Allah in front of them. Individuals who have the living Imam in front of them. Individuals who are hearing the words of their Imam. They are viewing their Imam. They are listening to everything that he has to say, but they choose to reject him. And on the other side, you have individuals whom have recognized their Imam. And the recognition of their Imam has allowed them to achieve such levels that they say when the shuhada that have been given the highest stations in heaven, when they will look towards the position of Abul Fadl al-Abbas, they will do ghibta, they will be shocked at the position of Abbas. They will say, how we wish we were at the position of Abbas. Why? Because Abul Fadl al-Abbas gave everything for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abul Fadl al-Abbas